I'm breaking out, okay? Ignore this. Thank you very much. Ignore this, please. Today we are going to speak about some short stories, short books that I've been enjoying this year, especially because there's quite a few, but they're actually mostly from the same authors. So first of all, I think the most read author in general at the moment, and they're all short stories as well, is Mieko Kawakami. So I read Heaven, which my sister currently has. I really liked Heaven. And I also read Mrs. Ice Sandwich, which I actually read yesterday. This one didn't hit for me, but Heaven did. Heaven was pretty much what I expected it to be. This one, I had no clue what this was going to be. Usually that's a good thing. Not so much in this case. And then I have a couple others of Mieko Kawakami's short books, but as ebooks, and I haven't gotten around to most of them, I think, yet, so when I do I will come back to you on those. But so far Mieko Kawakami is a solid recommendation in my opinion, because Heaven was really good and this was okay. I think this would be, I can see this being other people's favorites, you know, like I can see people really enjoying this. It just wasn't me. Then Claire Keegan Foster. I have only heard good things about Claire Keegan. I didn't know what this was about. No clue. That, like I said, going into it with no clue is usually a good thing. In this case, it was. This I gave a 5-star. This was so good. Also, like, the shortest, I think, of all the books that I've read so far this year. It was really heartwarming for how short it was. Really well read, like the way that it was written. I'm glad that this was the first book of Claire Keegan's that I read, because I think it's a good introductory book into her work, and it's made me actively want to read the rest of her work. Like before I just wanted to read something because I had heard only good things. Now I feel how accurate those reviews are, and so I really enjoyed this. Another author, like not just one book but author in general, that I've been reading short books from, but they're ebooks, Osamu Dazai, and I think that's it actually. The thing about this author is that, like, last year, I say this every time I bring him up, last year I read No Longer Human, which is arguably this author's biggest, like, well-known book. It really didn't hit for me, and I also think that's because it was an audiobook and I didn't like how it was narrated, so that could have been a factor. Because I'm now, this year, what I've read so far, I think I've read 2, I've really enjoyed. So I would now recommend these short stories. I think, let's have a look at the exact titles. If you're wondering, like, how can you not remember, it's because I have read 41 books so far this year, so I don't want to hear it. Yeah, so The Flowers of Buffoonery and Schoolgirl. I think, yeah, I gave Flowers of Buffoonery 4-star and Schoolgirl 3.5 star. They're really short. I think, oh, actually that's a lie, this is not the shortest book. These are, I think, pretty sure, like Schoolgirl was like 40 pages or something. I also read, I believe this was a short story. Yeah, it was. Hell Scream by Ryanosuke Akutagawa. This I remembered actually loving. I think this was one of my favourite books so far this year. It wasn't a 5-star, but it was still so good and so memorable after I read it. So that one there, Hellscreen. And I think like for me a short book is like anything under 200 pages, and I like 200 pages or less. And I think technically Mina's Matchbox by Yoko Ogawa also counts. As you can tell, I like my translated fic. I liked Mina's Matchbox. I think it could have been shorter, to be honest. I think there were bits where it just kind of added nothing. I think that's kind of how I felt about Mrs. Ice Sandwich, was just like, what's the point of this, you know? Whereas like all the other shorts have been almost like fables, like, you know, like they have like their tiny little meanings, and those are easy to decipher, whereas these ones I'm a bit like, huh? But maybe that's just me. I Used to Have a Plan by Alessandra Olenau. Shit. Sorry, it was shit. Don't come at me. I don't know if this really counts as a short book, but 7 Days in Tokyo by Jose Daniel Alvior. This was okay. I think the last time I mentioned this in the video, I said this is gonna be some people's like completely up their street. It just wasn't up mine, but the premise was, so I enjoyed the premise. I just don't really love how it was executed, but it wasn't bad. Ichigo Ichi by Francesc Miralles, and if that's French, Miral. I really like this. I think this is a 5-star. It's a non-fic, and I love a good non-fic, so things like that are really easy to, like, really easily please me. With a non-fic, it's like I either love it or I really fucking hate it. Technically this is a short book that I'm reading, but it is an audiobook, so it really doesn't feel like it. But Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport is really good so far. I'm almost 50% through, and I'm really enjoying it. This Beautiful Ridiculous City by Kei Sahini is a graphic novel, so I don't know if, again, the reason I'm like not making like big segments about these ones is because I don't know if the short book police are gonna come and get me, okay? But from what I consider it is, again, Give Her Credit by Gina L. Williams. Love the premise, it was so boring. Paper Doll by Dylan Mulvaney. Really like that one. I don't think it was. It says 200 pages here, but I don't think it was. Real Love by Evie Browning was really bad. Really bad. Shy by Design by Michael Thompson was really good. That was a 5-star. Love that. She's Always Hungry by Eliza Clark was okay. It was alright. Parade was the one that I wanted to talk about. Parade by Hiromi Kawakami was so good. I gave this a 5-star. I really now want to read so much more Hiromi Kawakami, and just realized they had the same name, Hiromi and Miyako Kawakami. Yeah, that was such a good first impression book. Again, super short, super easy to read, so I loved that. And I think so far those are like what most people would consider short books that I've read this year. Wow, I look dead inside. Listen, it's been a week, okay? But yeah, I think my top recommendations, if you are, for example, these I'm reading, like I read them because I'm going through a bigger book right now. It's like 400 pages, and I'm struggling to like get the motivation to get back into it, even though it's good so far. So I think like these just kick me up the arse a bit to read. But my top recommendations, I think, would be Parade by Hiromi Kawakami, Foster by Claire Keegan, and Hellscreen. I think those are my top 3. I would just say, like, as a blanket statement, Miyako Kawakami is a really good author to get into. I think her short stories are really good. but I think those, I would be incorrect in not suggesting those, because those I all gave 5 stars, whereas I haven't given Miyako a 5-star yet. So those are my thoughts on some short books I've been reading. Like I said, some of the ones I gave quick fire responses about, like reviews, are like 200 pages, maybe a little bit over, so maybe not necessarily this short. But yeah, don't come after me, short book police. I'm just trying to give a little bit of recommendation for everybody who likes a little bit of everything. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Please pray for me, because I haven't broken out like this for a very long time. I'm getting stressed. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.